Good morning, folks. Welcome to our next exit. Well, I think we've got a little different kind of. You met George and Melissa the other day, and they kind of started from scratch, retired within 30 days. They'd never RV'd. They bought them a motorhome within 30 days, and now we met them on their first week of full-time RV lifestyle, and 1, 2, 3, and they're off. And it really kind of surprised us. That was a big change in a short time frame. And now we've kind of got the opposite of that today with Tom and Chris. They've been RVing for 10 or 15 years, and they're just kind of casually moving into it. Yeah, we're going to sell our house. We're going to downsize. We're not going to buy our next house yet. We're just going to find the right RV. They're trying out a fifth wheel now. They don't think that's it. So they're going to go to the Hershey RV show and look around at Class A's. And they figured that the right motorhome will just kind of fall in their laps. Chris will retire in January. And Tom's job, he can do it anywhere in the country. He's a licensed appraiser, real estate appraiser, broker. So with the internet and how things have progressed, he says he can pretty much do that anywhere in the country as long as he's got good internet. He hadn't even worried about how he's going to get internet. He's watched enough videos. He knows the technology's out there. Nice and casual. It's not a big deal. When it's time to go, we'll get the tools we need and go. So it's going the exact same route, but from two totally different directions. Both couples sold their house right away, and really the folks we met in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, exact same attitude. They're 65. They're going to take a year. They're going to sell their house, downsize, but take a couple of year break, go see the country whenever they're tired of traveling around, come back home where their family and friends are, and move into whatever hits their fancy, a smaller house, apartment, or whatever. So it's a number of ways to get to the same place, but when you work till you're 65 and you've got all your ducks lined up in a row, it just kind of flows. Whether you want to, boom, do it in a 30-day window or take 6 months or take a year, but just ease into the lifestyle, go see the country, and then ease right back into a regular house. So anyway, I'll let Tom and Chris tell their story. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the other end of the video. So we're here with Tom and Chris in a little campground outside of Hershey. Do you remember the name of this?
Hershey, Conewago.
They're about 10 miles away from, we're over the Thousand Trails Hershey campground, and they drove over from Philadelphia.
Yes.
And their fifth wheel. You've had this for how long?
About a year and a half.
You've got a lot of RV time.
We've been RVing for probably at least 10 years, right? Maybe longer?
Longer than that.
We had a Class C, and then a Class A. We went to a travel trailer, and then another Class C, and now we have this one.
And Chris said your favorite was the smallest one.
The smallest travel trailer because it slept the most people, and so we could have. And actually, our son owns it now, so he has a family, two little children, and they take it out, and they always have a ton of people in there because it sleeps up to 8 in that little travel trailer with the pop-out beds on the side.
And have y'all done 8?
Yes.
With the pop-up trailer?
Yes,
we have. Had it loaded, yeah.
We've had it loaded up.
Tom and Chris are going to go full-time next spring, maybe.
Right.
That's what it looks like, yep.
And so when we pulled up, I'm thinking, what a beautiful rig to go full-time. It's 39 foot or something like that. But in the first 15 minutes or so, we found out this is probably not the full-time rig that they want.
Yeah.
So is there things about the fifth wheel that you don't like, or was there just things that you liked about the motorhomes that you liked that you don't have? Or what's?
Yeah, I think it's more about the things about the motorhomes we did like. And if you have to pull over to use the facilities, you don't have to get out on the highway and go back and get into this.
Get these steps open.
Yeah, and that's a safety concern too when you're doing that on the side of a highway.
Yeah.
And also, like, if he's driving and I could get up and make a sandwich, and I could go in the back and read a book, where this, you're confined to the pickup truck, and we're not really wild about that.
And I would get to do all the driving with this.
This you do? And you drive the motorhome?
I have driven the C-Class and the motorhome once, Up here, actually, in Lancaster, I drove the motorhome, the A-Class. But this one, I've only pulled it up and backed it up in the parking space at the campground. I haven't actually taken it on the road yet. I would try it, if anything, if I needed to, but as long as he's healthy and driving, we're good to go.
You're good to go. That's the way I am. As long as she's healthy and driving, we're good to go. So whose idea? Because I mean, often it's a pretty big jump. You're going to actually downsize, get rid of your stuff, sell your house, and full-blown RV. Whose idea was that? Was there a sales pitch that had to go on, or?
I don't think so. Not so much.
It's a big sales pitch. You started watching Big Truck, Big RV, and got interested in, because he wanted a pickup truck. So he got interested in watching that gentleman. And then it led on to other YouTube videos that were actually, doing this, traveling. And then we're like, maybe we could do that. So that's kind of where how it started.
We always wanted to travel.
Yeah.
And we don't like staying in hotels or motels or whatever. Because we like to bring our bed with us, because it's our bed.
Yeah.
And your stuff, isn't it nice to just have?
And our stuff, right. Everything's where we put it, and it's comfortable. It's just that we didn't really think about it, because selling the house and retiring was a little down the road a bit. But now it's getting close. And
so how long? You said a little down the road. So have y'all kind of been planning this for a couple of years or 5 years?
I've been talking about it for at least 2-3 years.
Yeah, about 2 years, I would say, that we've been seriously talking about it.
Yeah.
It was always something that you think, oh, someday I'd like to go just travel and do that.
Right.
But I'm seriously thinking about it now, because we wanted to sell the house and get something smaller if we weren't going to do this.
A smaller house.
Right, because the house is too much for 2 people. So why not just sell it and go do this?
So when you have kids, do you have grandkids also?
We have 3 grandchildren. Mm-hmm.
So
that's going to be the toughest part.
I was going to ask, that's the next
toughest
question.
part. Yeah. We'll miss them, but today with FaceTime, you can just FaceTime them. Now that I FaceTime them, and they only live 20 minutes away, and I have to FaceTime them anyway because they're so busy. I had a cold the beginning of this week, so I didn't want to go visit. So I was like FaceTime them, and this is what I get. Hi, Grandma, bye. And they're gone. So I'm sure at this age, the baby she'll be 2 in February. So that, I'd like to see more of her, because we haven't really bonded with her as much. But the older ones, we've done a lot with them.
You think you'll take them with you on some trips?
I'd love to, yeah. But we get fit in our schedule.
So Tom, you're going to actually, Chris is going to retire.
I'm going to retire January 31st.
And you're going to continue working.
I will, yeah.
Is that an issue? Is it any?
No, not really. I can work from anywhere I have an internet connection.
How will you get your internet on the road?
Just based on what I've watched on YouTube. I don't have any of this equipment yet.
Okay.
But I understand what I have to buy. But we're 6 months away, so I'll buy it eventually. We're going to get the MiFi, I guess it is, and all these gadgets I watch on the YouTubes. But I'll find a way to get a connection one way or the other. If I have to go to Starbucks, I'll go to Starbucks.
Do you have any special? You're going to downsize and get rid of everything. Do you have any special tips that the viewers could learn something, or are you just the kind of garage sales, Facebook marketplace?
Yeah, we just started out. We have one garage sale, yard sale. We live on a kind of a busy street, so I don't even have to put a sign up. We just open our garage door and everybody starts stopping. Are you clean? No, we're cleaning out the garage today. We're not having a sale. That's one of the kind of streets.
What kind of camping do you think you're going to do? You think you'll like the national parks or the independent campgrounds, or boondocking? Will you do any boondocking?
It doesn't appeal to me too much. We'll do a little bit of it. Overnight, maybe 2 nights, I don't know. But I want to be in a place where, we can have the ability to dump and take care of everything. But
turn the air conditioner on and the heater on.
Yeah, now, when we go out west, that might be a different story. I don't know, because there's so much vast space out there.
And beautiful places.
Yeah, places to see, beautiful places to see. And we'll probably do that in 2020, but for the first year, we're going to do this East Coast.
32 or 34 foot is a size I heard you say earlier today, I think. Why would you go that small if you weren't going to boondock and that kind of stuff?
Well, part of it is to get into the national parks.
Okay.
And
that's good.
Although I understand there's always campgrounds just outside the national parks. But I think 36 feet would be ideal.
36, yeah, 36. That's a number I've heard a lot. 36 sounds pretty good. Okay.
Now we're going to the RV show next month up in Hershey, and we'll get a good idea on floor plans then. You know, but I don't know. We're totally up in the air at this point. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
Eventually you'll see something and say, this is it.
That's what I think is
don't
going
need
to
to look
happen.
any
Yeah,
further.
exactly.
This is what I want.
Right.
I think you're right. Something's just going to feel right.
Yes.
Do you think you might buy new, or are you pretty sure it's going to buy used?
I don't want to buy new
Because
you lose a lot of money as soon as
Okay.
you drive it off the lot. I mean,
Depreciation
Yeah,
factor.
and let somebody else work out the bugs from the beginning, you know.
and that's what I've heard more than I
Yeah.
thought it would. A lot of people, they say that they're building them so fast, such a demand, that
yeah.
the manufacturers are not putting they're waiting to let warranty
Right.
do it instead of quality control. They let the warranty do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We want to be held up by having to sit in an RV repair place
Exactly.
in the beginning, so.
So if you buy used, I mean so the warranty is not there, so you have to figure out how to get something fixed. Are you grab my toolbox and I'll run it down and fix it kind of guy, or you
Yeah.
call the mechanic to come fix it, or
The only I can fix anything that I can find on the internet, on YouTube, or actually on Google, I guess, right? But
so that doesn't scare you? Slide getting stuck? You
No,
think you
no.
can kind of figure it out?
I've
Get
been
on
working on
YouTube?
stuff my whole life. I mean,
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's such a great. If you're going to full-time RV, I think that's some of the people don't have that skill, and
Yeah.
Right.
that for us that would be tough because we've had a lot of stuff that if we had to go to the shop and have that, I just can't imagine going to the shop and those things.
Right.
But if you don't know what a multimeter is, you might be going to the shop.
Right. I don't think we would be doing this if I had to take it to the shop every time something broke.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, I've
not
met
worth
several
it.
people that just they have no desire to do it. But I guess they just buy expensive rigs and nothing breaks.
Right.
Yeah, it all depends on what level you want to buy, but so.
How about RV groups? Any like Passport America, those kind of things? Good Sam?
Yeah, we have a good Sam's.
We do have a good Sam's.
We have them for towing, or road service,
Uh-huh.
and we don't belong to anything else yet. But again, we're in the process.
Are you familiar with that Escapees?
Yeah, I read a lot about that. I saw a lot about it on the YouTube and all, and I think that's a great idea.
Their whole purpose is supporting the full-time
Yeah.
group. So that's one to stick on your list to do a little research.
We've only used it one time. At that time, we blew a tire going in New Jersey, and we called them, and they did send out somebody to repair change the tire for us.
One thing I've learned about these trailers, you have to have good tires and you have to have the highest rating that you can find. Because that thing blew up, it ripped ripped all the pieces
On this one or
apart.
a different?
Yeah, on this one.
Oh, wow.
And I had to fix it, and it was a big mess. And
I've heard what they come with new, that you need to change them almost right away.
I
Yes.
heard that as well. And in fact, we're going to talk to our friends about that. They just bought a new one this year, and I wonder what tires they put on there, because they cut corners on that stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to have, I think that these are G rated.
So y'all RV'd on the East Coast a lot. Us, as well as a lot of the people that follow our thing, are back on the West Coast. And we were nervous about the East Coast, overpasses and tolls and all that stuff. Is there any words of wisdom there you have about the low bridges or tolls, or you just get on the road and pay the tolls when you get there? Or,
Well, the tolls, I mean,
rather than going around them.
Oh no, we didn't.
we pay the toll.
Yeah.
I don't bother, because we're doing weekend trips now.
Okay.
And maybe
Have the
3 or
time.
4 or 5 day trips would be a big one. So we're just going to go shortest route and pay the toll.
Uh-huh.
Now, when we have more time, maybe we will explore that. Avoid tolls avenue, but it's in this area, it seems like tolls are everywhere. We were coming up the turnpike, and I don't know what it's going to be because we have Easy Pass, so we'll get the bill later. And I imagine it's going to be probably 30, 40, I don't even know how much it's going to be, but the road was a mess. I'm thinking, I paid a toll for this.
Right, yes.
If you get them, like on our motorhome, we have 3 axles and then we're towing a car, so that's 2 more.
Right.
So here, 2 and 2 is 4, and my understanding is you're kind of like a recreational fee, but once you get to 5 axles, the rate goes up commercial.
Oh,
Because you'd be
okay.
like a tractor trailer.
Right.
Yeah, so if you do get, we haven't figured it out yet.
Now
We just
going from Pennsylvania to New Jersey, they really hit you hard with the trailer.
Yeah, it costs $30 to cross the bridge.
Mhm.
I've heard about some bridge fees, yeah.
I'm thinking
Oh, boy.
What's the name of that bridge?
all
Betsy
the
Ross.
big bridges, Betsy Ross,
Walt
Ben
Whitman.
Franklin, and Walt Whitman, the
Walt
ones that go from Jersey to Philadelphia. And we used to call it the Nickel Bridge way back. Now I think it's what is it?
It's $1.
No, I think
$1,
it's
$2.
might be $2 for a car, but this would probably be 10 or something.
Yeah, but that's a very small bridge, so.
Tacony Bridge, but it's it's
Tight.
narrow, and they might open it, and you have to wait.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why it's cheaper than the other ones.
Drawbridge.
So how about is there play? Are you worried about, or do you know where the low bridges are
No,
already, or do you have to look that up?
We're gonna have to learn to look that up, because even coming here, we're one turn, we thought, oh, lucky we're not going down that road, because it was a low bridge, but we haven't invested in a Garmin that tells you, because I'm sure the truckers all have that.
Yeah, get the
that tells
trucker
them,
one.
So,
I
yeah, we'll
think,
probably have to
We
invest
bought
in that.
the Garmin RV 770
Mhm.
just a month ago, and it seems to be a real good one. We like
Okay.
it.
And you tell
You
it.
put in if you have propane. That's what I was going to ask you next. Are there places, I've heard tunnels, if you have propane you can't go in, or you have to turn it off?
You know, they say you have to shut it off if you go through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. That's a double tunnel and it's a 21-mile bridge.
Oh, wow.
It's an amazing, it's a beautiful bridge. But
So if it's not turned off, will they let you stop and go out and turn it off, or what?
they only ask you is your gas off,
They don't check it.
and I say yes, it is.
That's Everybody that we've talked to said the same thing. They don't
Yeah,
check
same
nothing.
thing.
They just tunnels. You got to have the propane off. Low bridges, tolls, any other
Oh, yeah.
traveling
I would
or
avoid.
towns just like New York
Avoid
City.
New York
Don't
City.
go into.
Yeah. Avoid
I
New York
avoid
City.
New York City at all
Yeah, we
costs.
got that on the
Yeah,
list.
yeah, definitely.
And if you're not going to New York City, then maybe you won't have to deal with a tunnel.
Domicile state. Y'all won't mess with that. Your state, Pennsylvania.
Well, I have a appraisal license certification in Pennsylvania.
So you need to keep that for your
My
job.
business address has to be here,
Yeah,
and
yeah. You couldn't change out. I'd probably be playing with fire there.
yeah. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to pay the taxes.
What do you think when you go? Do you have any idea of the miles, how much you'll travel? Do you have some
In a
like
day.
destination, or it's just you hadn't even come anywhere close to figuring that
Well, we
out?
don't really like to go. Like we go down to Virginia, and that's 5 hours, and that's enough, really. Don't you think, for a day's travel?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
It would be a lot for day travel.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that. We've gone 8 hours or 9 hours.
Yeah, but I got a strong driver.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
she's getting old.
And that's the thing too. When we are in the car, we both drive. So like we just were in the Outer Banks, and we shared the drive and going down there.
You think you will start driving?
Yeah, I guess.
As soon as he starts cooking.
Yeah, that's true. No, I wouldn't mind trying.
How about issues? In hearing you talk, you have a lot of friends, and then obviously your family and that kind of stuff here. Issues with that moving away? They all think you're just crazy, or you think you'll come? Probably you'll come back often
not
enough.
that
to
they've
where-
told us. They might think
They might be
that,
talking
but,
about us behind our back. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. My one sister said, "What are you going to do with all your stuff?" And I just don't really care about the stuff so
We don't
much.
care about stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
After what stuff she wants.
yeah, exactly.
We're gonna keep it at your house.
Yeah.
But and as far as our friends, I'm sure that I'll miss it because I'm very active. I'm a very social person. I'm very active. I'm still in my high school group. We meet once a month for
Really?
dinner. There's a group of us, about 20-some girls, that meet for dinner. The people I work with, sometimes we'll go out for dinner. So, I'm very social that way. So it's going to be a little change for me. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
That's why I think chances are that we're going to end up in this area in the summer. 'Cause we have a lot of friends. We have camping buddies.
In this area, of Pennsylvania, in case people
Yeah.
forgot.
No, in Pennsylvania. And we'll most likely we'll be up here in the summer. But in the winter, we're out of
Get
here.
away from the snow.
And where would you think? Now, have y'all spent much time in Florida on vacations and stuff? Is that?
Just Orlando, and we went Daytona. We went to Daytona Beach.
yeah.
We saw the race down there.
I'm focused.
And we went to Boca and Key West. We went down to Key West. So just
So obviously you spend at
vacation
least
trips.
one winter there.
Yeah.
You're going to try maybe some winters in Arizona or Texas or any of that? Or
When we get out that way, yeah.
you open to it?
That's a possibility, yeah. Because, well, like I said, 2020, we're most likely going to do all the campgrounds out there. I mean, the national
The
parks
big
out
national
there.
parks. Yeah.
Great.
So we'll find a place. It's a beautiful place. It looks like from what I've seen.
There's a lot of
is.
beautiful places, yeah. Especially with a 36-foot rig.
Yeah.
You can get to them.
Yeah, that'll be.
How about health insurance? Y'all are 60. Is that right? 60?
I'm 65 and he'll be
65.
65.
In a couple months, I'll be 60.
So you'll be on the Medicare and all that.
Mhm.
Right.
So you think you'll mostly be up in here, or is there areas that's just on your hit list? The national parks? Is there other things you want to do? Things that maybe people hadn't thought of yet?
One thing I've learned or heard them tell us on the YouTube channels, on the YouTube shows, is to take your time. People are in a big rush to go. You got to go see everything. You know, just
What's the hurry?
Right.
what's the
I've
rush?
got time. Exactly.
How long would you envision? I know you don't know. We don't know. We've been doing it a year now, and we don't know how long we'll do it. But how long would you guess you might be living for? Probably until you get tired of it. But what do you think that would be? When you fill up your map, or
We have no idea. Yeah, we're gonna have a little trouble with Hawaii. I don't know how.
you mentioned 2020 a couple of times,
Yeah.
so that'd be a year. Do you think for sure it'd take you at least 2 years to kind of see what you want to see, or you think you'll go slow and you think real easy 5 years, or you have no idea?
What do you think? 2 years? 3 years?
I'd say I would 3 years and then say just play it out and see what happens.
So kind of your plan, I think, in hearing you talk, is a lot like us. You had a bigger house, you wanted to downsize. Instead of buying the next house today, take a couple of year break,
Right.
Right.
travel around, and maybe extend it to 3 or 4 years, or maybe you find a great location you like and settle there. But you'll definitely buy another house, you think?
We'll probably definitely buy another house
Down
and
the road, yeah.
and back here near our family. So in that
Yeah.
vicinity of Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia there. But then we may still want to travel somewhere warm when there's snow on the ground, because we don't like that.
So you may have a house. And
Yeah, and travel.
Being snowbirds.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
the snowbird thing. Because
Don't like snow.
we don't like it.
I can understand that.
So Chris, in hearing you talk earlier, my understanding is you hadn't told your mother yet. When are you going to be brave enough? I don't think it's real until you've told your mother.
I don't think I'm telling her till the
You don't
night
think-
before we leave.
What's her email address so one of our viewers can send her?
Oh,
Your mother's how old?
She's 87.
87.
And my father's 91.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I've put in my time. I put in 65 years being a good daughter, so now it's time for me not to be.
When you're doing this, and you've been doing it for 6 months and stuff, you've been RVing a lot for 10 years or so. Do you think it'll feel like home whenever you go to town? Will it ever feel like you're just coming back home, or
Well,
you
the RV, do you
Yeah.
feel like home? I always do. You know, I have trouble when we go away for 4 or 5 days. When we come back, I kind of don't want to go in the house.
really?
Yeah, I kind
So
of.
it feels like home.
I
Yeah.
do. I kind of like, it's like a separation anxiety I get sometimes. We go in the house and then I'm back out there cleaning and doing stuff, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I have to ease out.
Yeah.
I just can't jump out and go in the house. I can't."
We were in Estate for how many days?
Yeah, I guess we were there 5, 6
Five?
days. Yeah.
When you're there a longer time, more than a weekend,
Yeah.
it becomes home.
I mean, for
Home
us,
is where
it
you
literally
park
is home. Yeah.
Only where you park it.
It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like camping at
No.
all.
So I think you kind of got what I was saying there when Chris says it already feels like home. It's kind of in their psyche. They've been doing this a long time. They like the RV lifestyle, and for them to sell their house and move into the RV, I don't think they'll even blink an eye. So that's a great story. I think they're going to have a great time RVing. They have the perfect attitude, and then Tom's got the work skills where he can, as long as he enjoys it, travel around and do his appraisal stuff on the road. And I'm guessing when he gets tired of it, he'll quit. If he gets tired of it, that's a job that you might could do for a long time. Just slow down and do less and less. So I hope you enjoyed meeting Tom and Chris. Hope you enjoyed the interview. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, think about maybe subscribing and follow along with our adventure and meet some more new and exciting people as we travel around the country. That's about it. Keep the wheels rolling. Stay safe. We'll see you at our next exit. Bye-bye.